Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this WEO Wednesday webinar. My name is Kirsten Bayer with the Illinois Center for Specialized Professional Support at Illinois State University, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. Today is a double feature, so welcome everyone for joining us today, and I know some are still entering, but today's topic is the Illinois workNet Tools Employment 101. And just a couple of housekeeping things before we get started. Thank you, Dee, for moving that slide for me. As a reminder, all participants on the call are in listen-only mode. If you have questions as the webinar proceeds, please post your question in the question and answer box or the chat box, and we will address them throughout the webinar as well as at the end of the webinar. A reminder that this webinar is recorded, and the presentation recording and materials from today will be available on our website as well as the Illinois workNet website as well within 48 hours. Tomorrow, each attendee will receive a follow-up email, which will include a survey asking about today's webinar. If you could please take 5 minutes out of your workday tomorrow and provide us with any feedback or suggestions. Our faculty and committee at our center who planning committee for WEO webinars would greatly appreciate that feedback. And then another reminder, if you do find yourself having a faulty internet connection or audio issues, you can feel free to call in using your cell phone with the phone number provided by Zoom in your initial registration email that was sent out. And with that, I'm going to have you go to the next slide, Dee, please. And we're going to start off the webinar like we do every WEO webinar with some beginning polls. So if you could go to the next slide, Dee. There we go. So our first poll is, where is your local area? I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll now so you can interactively answer for us. We'll give everyone about 30 seconds to answer. And these are general areas we would just like to know if you're joining us from the northern part, central part, or southern part of the state, or if you're joining us from an out-of-state entity. And then we also have Chicago as well. That first one should just be Chicago, not Chicago Central Illinois. I apologize for that one. But if you're from Chicago, just pick number 1, and then Central Illinois is number 3. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end that poll and share our results. So we have a broad span of you joining us from all over the state today, and it looks like one person from out of state. So welcome to our non-Illinoisan joining us today. And then we have a variety of us joining us from the northern and Chicago part of the state, as well as some from central and southern Illinois as well. So thank you so much and welcome everyone this morning. Thank you for joining us on this double feature. And then Dee, if you could go to the next slide, I'm going to launch the poll of which partner do you best represent? And this is for our analytical purposes. Again, we'll give everyone about 30 seconds if you could answer what core partner you best represent. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end that poll and share the results. So we have quite a few of you from Title I, which is great. Welcome everyone. Over half of our attendees today are from Title I. And then some more of you are from other WEO partners or stakeholders, and a broad span of you from our other court partners as well. So welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning for this double feature. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to our presenter for today, Dee Reinhardt. Dee, you're on mute. We can just see your subtitles at the bottom.
Okay, well, I'll start that over again. Hi, my name is Dee Reinhardt. I am a project manager with Illinois workNet. I do field training and technical assistance for a number of different projects that we have across the state. And we do a lot of things, and one of them is Employment 101. So what I'm going to do is get started here with our presentation, this is in development right now. We are getting close to releasing, and I am going to show you a little bit of our test environment so that you can see what actually is happening with the project. So today we're going to talk a little bit about an introduction for Employment 101. We're going to talk about access and pretest, learning modules and quizzes, goals and steps, tools, the post-test and certificate, and then along with tools for career navigators and coaches. Everybody needs a career plan. And with Employment 101, we help you create one of those along with a job search plan, and then provide you tips and resources to help you achieve those goals. Employment 101 works on your desktop or a laptop or a phone or a tablet. It's responsive. It will work on any of the platforms that you want it to be used on. All you need to access the wealth of knowledge in Employment 101 is to create a free Illinois workNet account. You can log in, go to your My Dashboard, and select Employment 101. We have other great tools available there as well that we use within the Employment 101 tool, like bookmarks, skills and interest surveys, assessments, and a resume building tool. All of these items are available with a single sign-on into Illinois workNet. We offer several resources for workforce partners that may want to use the tool in their agency, program, or school. They include a recruiting flyer, an article about the tool, and a leader guide that can be used in a classroom or workshop setting. I'm going to show you that too. I've got it, I'm working on it right now. Employment 101 offers a pre-assessment that users can take to determine where they are starting their knowledge of a career and job search planning. The pre-assessment is not required to begin using the guide, but you can take it. And we'll talk about the post-assessment later, but you must pass it with at least 70% to achieve your certificate and digital badge. There's 25 multiple choice questions on the pre and the post assessment. When a user takes the test, answers are stored and incorrect answers are designated to allow career planners or counselors or case managers, whoever's working with the person, to work with that person who took the test on the areas that they may have gotten wrong. The guide itself is broken into 3 sections. Prepare a career plan, prepare a job search plan, and achieve your goals. Each section has a number of subsections, and as you complete those sections, there's check marks that appear by those subsections, and overall progress is shown in 2 places, the check marks and then the progress up in the upper right-hand corner. Each section contains learning modules. Each module has a learning section where some reading and interactive activities are required. Some modules contain questions to cause you to reflect, and each module has an activity that must be completed before the user can move to the next learning module. Once the user has completed a learning module and a section, they can move freely back and forth within those sections so that they can see something that they may have learned before. Each subsection contains a quiz that has questions that are actually from the post-assessment, so the user is actually given the correct answer when they're taking those quizzes. Each section has an overview video, and each learning module has a link to more resources. Many of the activities the user will complete is creating goals and adding steps to achieve those goals. These goals and steps are added to the user's Illinois WorkNet career plan in their My Dashboard. So that My Dashboard is the term for where you find all of your tools and resources. The tools on this page that already live in Illinois WorkNet are incorporated into Employment 101. We're calling it E101 for short. These are accessed with a seamless single sign-on through the person's Illinois WorkNet account. They include skills and interest surveys with CIS, and they also include career pathways where users can research jobs in 16 different Illinois career pathways. Illinois WorkNet Job Finder, which is powered by Indeed, and the training program research tool that provides WIOA approved and also private sector training opportunities. We built a few new tools for this new version of E101 that include a job tracker tool up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, a career comparison tool, a training program comparison tool. So the career comparison and the training program comparison are very similar. We're building a notes tool that will allow users to track their thoughts on the questions that we ask them to reflect upon throughout E101. We have a new downloadable budget worksheet on which income and expenses can be tracked for a year, and a worksheet to help you track what you need through E101 if you are more of a paper and pen type of person. Not everybody's on their computer all the time, so we gave them that pen and paper option. We have a strong focus on the Illinois Essential Employability Skills along with digital literacy. Now, what I want to do is I want to go live and I want to show you our tool and how you can do this Essential Employability Skills piece. So let me end the slideshow right now. We'll come back to that. Now this is what the tool will look like. It's not quite all prettied up yet, but you can see that you have the pieces where you will click and link. And then on here, we've got our video that you can watch, and then you can start the actual course. And this is, it has a split view like we're looking at right now, or it has a full view where you would scroll down to the bottom of the page to get to the actual learning module at that point. It is flexible, so it will move with any device that you are working on it with. So as your participants are using this, they would go to this learning module and read the information that's in here. So you would want to learn about employability skills. And as you can see down here at the bottom, they have to complete the content before they can move on. So that means they have to click on each of the screens to read the content that's there. And then we are including some links out to some other resources. And at the top of the page, as I mentioned earlier, we have a link to other resources that they can just read. These are not included as part of the curriculum per se, but can be used as going to the library to find more information about a particular topic. So we'll go through here and just let you see what the different pieces include. Now, this is not meant to be an end-all, be-all sort of set of information, but it can spark discussion. So we have a link out to the job skills guide. Here on digital literacy, we have a link out to the digital literacy guide. Under industry-wide tech, we have some information here, a click out to read more about the industry technical skills. We talk about attendance and self-presentation. I liked my pink bathtub picture. So we have more information here about that topic. And then on our last one on this tab, it's a communication. So we have effective communication is important. And then once they've finished all 4 of those tabs, they can move on to the next set, which includes independence and initiative with more information to read. We've tried to incorporate all of our alt tags on every picture so that people that are using the screen readers can see what's going on. Positive attitude, problem solving, and then our last one is personal and work ethics. And we can go on to the next one, which is understanding the big picture, leadership and teamwork, career advancement, and then transferable skills. We talk about that in here. So what are those skills that you can bring with you from other places? Continue. This is an activity because just reading is kind of boring. So we wanted to make sure that we had activities that could help a person stay engaged. So on this particular activity, it says drag the skills from the top box to sort if it is valued by employers or if it is something that needs to be improved. So Windows 10, and we don't have mics on, but how would we drag this to one side or the other? So we would expect that Windows 10 would be valued by employers. Mumbles. If somebody mumbles, would they need to improve that, or would that be valued by an employer? I'm going to push it over here. And it's a blue check mark. Understand customer needs. Now, if one of your participants is doing this and they actually drag it to the wrong side, if you drag it over here, it jiggles, and then you can drag it to the other side. Complain too much, you need to improve. Rocky workflow, need to improve. Take initiative, that's valued. Work independently. So on this, everybody is getting to make a decision about what is good. And I'm going to kind of go through some of these and get done here with this. Comply with policies, fails to ask questions, breaks rules, cooperates with others, detect and correct errors, maintains a professional demeanor at work, spaces out, closed to change, care about your appearance, poor personal hygiene, notify supervisor in advance of absences, work effectively with others, old versions of technology, poor time management, show up on time and ready to work, cannot operate a computer, doesn't learn new things, positive attitude, Windows XP, misses details, acts childish, keyboarding skills, considers others' viewpoints, proper grammar and spelling, keep skills up to date, give in to peer pressure. Ooh, I almost got that one wrong. Problem-solving skills. And then at the end, it tells the participant how many items they got right out of all of the cards. And it doesn't count for anything except for the exercise. And then they could always replay it if they needed to. Then we have some scenarios that people can read through and answer. Again, these do not make or break the learning module, it's to help them build. You're driving to your job when you notice that you have a flat tire. What do you do? So let's see, which answer should we pick? Call work and let them know your situation. Change the tire and show up at work when you're done. I know you all would be saying this top answer, right? So we're going to go with that. And then it tells you what the correct answer is. Next one, we continue. You are at a local clothing store and a customer comes in and tries to return something but does not have the receipt. You tell him he cannot return it. He starts yelling and demanding his money back. What do you do? Do you listen to the customer? Do you maintain eye contact? Do you gesture using listening skills and such as nodding? Do you scowl or roll your eyes? Calmly explain the return policy using an appropriate tone of voice. And so then we can listen to the customer, we can maintain eye contact, we can gesture and nod, we don't want to scowl, and then we want to calmly explain the return policy and submit. And yes, you got the correct answers, or I guess I should say I got them. And then continue. One more here. You are at work in an office building and all of a sudden the printer stops working. You have 100 flyers to print out. What do you do? Walk away. The flyers will have to wait. Call your supervisor to fix the problem. Or do you check to see why it might not be working? Fix it by adding paper or changing a cartridge or clearing a jam. We're going to check. Thank you, Moises. And submit. Yay! Moises got the right answer. And then we can continue. So now we want to go back and we want to rank your skills. And we have a new activity. We want to have a piece here where we're going to recognize transferable skills. You want to make notes in the note tool. And then we're going to have the activity that is the self-evaluation. That tool is actually in the assessments now. So you can actually use that with your participants and customers at this point. So let me go back to the presentation and we want to pull up this one. Go back here. So as you can see, we covered all of the essential employability skills. We have the quiz that participants can take, and then we can use that quiz to help our participants. I see that Marcia asked a question in the Q&A. If someone was using this with a client student, would they be able to see the client student's account in order to check progress? And right now, no, they can't, but they can always, if you're using it in a classroom environment or a computer lab, you could always track it as they are working through, when they're working through the system with them. If they're just working on their own independently from their own home computer, you won't be able to tell until they're finished. But with the new version, there are goals that will be added to the participant's career plan, and through the Customer Support Center, you will see that those goals have been added if you add them to your customer group. So Marcia, I hope that answered your question. Let's move on to the next slide. We did that. The post-assessment. The digital literacy guide hyperlink takes them out to takes them out to the actual digital literacy guide on Illinois WorkNet. That link is available there. Okay, for the post-assessment, it's the same set of questions as the pre-assessment. And as I stated earlier, the quiz at the end of each subsection contains the questions from that area that are on the post-assessment. The exact question and answers with the correct answer given, as you can see where we were answering pieces in the section that I just showed you, it shows you the correct answer. And that's what happens in the quizzes as well. If a user gets the answer incorrect on the post-assessment, they are linked to the section where the correct answer may be found. So the post-assessment actually lets the participant move to find the correct answer. There's links, there's hyperlinks to let them do that. Users are allowed to retake the post-assessment as many times as necessary to achieve the 70% passing score that they need to earn their certificate or digital badge. So here we have a picture of our certificate. It's downloadable from the customer's profile, and it's also downloadable from the customer support center if you are working with a participant or a customer for your agency. The digital badge will be downloadable as well, and they can be added to those users' profiles and portfolios to demonstrate the user's knowledge of Employment 101. So from the Customer Support Center, that's what's on the right-hand side here. And then we have the dashboard that the customer sees. So career navigators, coaches, counselors, and workforce partners have the ability to track the Employment 101, E101 progress of users in their customer group on Illinois WorkNet. Some programs that use Illinois WorkNet to track all of their customers have special groups and dashboards, but users of any organization that is a partner can create a personal group, invite users and other partners of their organization to see assessment results and progress on E101. Steps added to a career plan on the user's profile can also be viewed by clicking on those customer links. And then to learn more about becoming a partner, you want to visit Illinois WorkNet and look for partner resources. We have questions from the audience at all?
I'm looking through here.
I answered the one in the Q&A.
Yes, and I don't see, we don't have any others in the Q&A. Moses would like to know, is Central States SER a partner?
Yes, I do believe Central States here is a partner. They've been a partner for a very long time. They're a good user of Illinois WorkNet, and I know they're a partner in a lot of the local workforce offices as well.
Okay. I believe that's the only question I see right now.
Okay. All right. So now if you guys have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them for you. Just type them into the chat. We would love for you to follow Illinois WorkNet and participate with us and ask us questions. So if you've got any questions, you can send them to info@illinoisworknet.com and they will filter them to the appropriate person. If it's about Employment 101, it'll probably come to me and I'll get an answer to you through info@. what I want to do right now is I want to end this slideshow and show our partners the guide that I'm working on. So what we have right now, this is a user guide, and we have information for the program. We talk about navigation, we talk about the pre-assessment, we talk a little bit more about navigation, and then we have learning modules that are available so that you can use this in a classroom environment. It is designed to be self-paced, self-accessed, but if you want to do it in a workshop type kind of thing so that you can keep track of your participants' progress, that's what I'm designing this for. And so what I've done is I've taken each piece with the activity steps, what they're going to learn, or what the picture looks like of what they're going to learn, what their activity is that they have to complete that step or that sub-step of the activities. We have what the info bubble is all about. We know I've tested what the duration is for the particular exercise. Depends on how fast or slow someone can read and or use the computer. So I'm trying to pad this a little bit so that if somebody needs to develop their computer skills, their typing ability, or any of those sorts of things, then we've padded it up. And if somebody is quicker on the draw with the computer usage, then the time period would be shorter. So I'm going through each of the sections right now. We have what the coordinator, the case manager, the counselor, the career navigator, whoever is using this, what kind of conversation they may want to have with the participant. And then we have some instructor resources along the side for the instructors, the guides. Okie doke. So now, Kirsten, any other questions? Shall I take anybody live to see anything on Illinois WorkNet right now? Would you like to see where the self-evaluation is? Some information about that?
I don't see any new questions coming through, but if you would like to see those resources from Dee, please post in the chat. Moses said Women Employed's Career Foundation curriculum uses some of these resources and they are great. So just a positive feedback for you there.
Thank you very much.
I don't see anyone coming through saying they would like to access those resources, but if you feel like they would be beneficial to show really quickly, Dee, go ahead and do so.
All right. Well, let me go to the main page of Illinois WorkNet. I'm gonna end this slideshow and I'm gonna open up a new tab and bring it over here and go to Illinois WorkNet. And I'm not quite sure if all of you have found out about our virtual job fair portal, but this is a great place for you to find some information about jobs that are being offered. This is a virtual job fair opportunity. We have one scheduled for this afternoon, a couple scheduled this afternoon for individual employers, and then there is a whole calendar of virtual job fairs that are available. So going through some of these booths and events, the booths are renewed every 30 days from employers in the area, And the VJF events is a calendar. So as you can see here, 160 Driving Academy has 10 open positions. Mid-America Credit Union has 9 open positions. Abbott has 1,000 open positions. You can filter in here by location, and you can see information about the particular organizations on your computer screen. Then if you go to the calendar, which is the VJF events, it shows you a calendar of the events that are taking place. So at 10 o'clock this morning, there was a Northside American Job Center job fair. At 1 o'clock, there's a Novellus job fair. And all you have to do is click on that event, and you can add it to your calendar to go access it. You can register for the event. They do kind of recommend that, because then the employers can see who they need to follow up with. All righty, so that's one opportunity. And for 3 more days until October 31st, if you are so inclined, you can sign up for our Coursera free offerings. You do have to sign up for it through Illinois WorkNet. Use your Illinois WorkNet account to log into it. So you have to be approved first. And then if you register for any of these courses, you can take them through December 31st. So if anybody is on the webinar that has a little bit of time on their hands to improve some of their skills, they can follow through with this. And then we also have offerings through ICCB. You know, we're all like really acronymed up here in the state. We've got tech ready courses that are available, other training programs, apprenticeships, and then we have information here. So if you're not already a partner, you can come in and look at the bottom of the page and look at partner resources. The other thing that you can do, so this is back for Moises for the Central State SEER. Somebody from your organization has access to update your Service Finder information, and that Service Finder information is found under I always lose this, but there is a Service Finder locator here, and you can look right here. Look for your organization in here. And then you can see if the services that you're offering are still appropriate. Okay, and then on the partner resources, let me show you this. If you go to the partner resources and go to assessments from the menu, down on the bottom right-hand side, it talks about the self-evaluation of essential skills, and participants are able to take this evaluation and figure out where they are with the initial process. So we've got a rubric here that matches each classification. So we've got teamwork, positive attitude, problem solving, all of those essential employability skills that we talked about in the presentation that I gave. And then these directly compare to a work site evaluation that you can have participants do if they're doing work experience training with you. So Moises says,
yes,
I just got it. Can I access my clients' personal accounts or their assessments results? So Moises, you have to put them in a customer group, or if you are working on a special project, then they are already assigned to a customer group. There is some information on here under the menu um, about the Customer Support Center. So if you click on the Customer Support Center and look at the resources that are available for you about creating a customer group, that's where you can then see the results for your participants, including Employment 101, the self-evaluation, a work site evaluation, any of the tools and assessments that are available for you. Okay. Anything else?
I don't see anything else coming through.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time and attention today.
Yes, thank you. I want to wrap us up here as we're closing out and just prompt everyone again to answer our survey, our follow-up survey that will come tomorrow morning in a follow-up email. If you could take 5 minutes out of your workday, we would greatly appreciate it. And then also just a reminder that this webinar was being recorded, and the slides and the webinar from today will be posted on our website as well as Illinois WorkNet website within 48 hours. And that link will be in that follow-up email as well. And then I don't see any other questions coming through. So with that, I just want to thank our presenter, Dee, for her time today. And thank you to all of our attendees for your time today on this double feature WEO Wednesday webinar. And with that, I will close us out. Thank you so much. Everyone have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you, everybody.